So recently, I have not only had YouTube comments about this topic, but 2 investors have come to me as of this video asking about finding properties that they can make into Airbnbs. I decided it's time to make a video on this because people really want to know. However, it's really a little tricky, guys. I'm a little nervous about putting this out as a video because after doing lots of research, it's not necessarily a cut and dried topic, at least for our area. I'm happy to share what I can and what I've learned, and it starts right now. Are you thinking of hosting an Airbnb, but you're not sure if you can because of where you live? If you are, you probably already understand the concept, you know what it is, but I have been asked, what is an Airbnb and why would someone want to stay there instead of, say, a hotel or anywhere else? Well, this is the answer I've received. One word: flexibility. So let me start right off the bat by saying I am not a city planner, not a zoning expert, nor do I have any legal expertise when it comes to this. So I don't want what I say here to be held up as the law by any means. It isn't. And the bottom line is that you or your realtor needs to be checking with the correct places for each address that you find to ensure that it's zoned for short-term rentals. Honestly, let the realtor do that for you. Earn their money. So anyway, okay, so Airbnb. Just in case you aren't familiar with this, Airbnbs are where owners or investors they're sharing their home via renting them, usually as a short-term rental, although according to Airbnb itself, they are starting to have longer stays as well. As a matter of fact, a little interesting tidbit, as of June 9th, 2021, they actually have this new Live Anywhere on Airbnb for 12 people program that they're testing out, available because they're catering to this idea of the new normal of having the flexibility to work and live from anywhere. Now, I am not going into all the rules, regulations, how to set up an Airbnb on this video. If you want that, there are plenty of resources out there, and I caution that just like everything else in real estate, regulations can change. So be sure you are getting the latest information if you decide to take on this venture. What I want to talk about specifically in this video is Brevard County, Florida, or the Space Coast. The first thing you should understand is that every city or municipality is different in what is allowed or not allowed. Now, if you just live in a county where, say, there's only one big city, you may not have as much variety or trouble finding places as we do here. However, here in Brevard County, there are 17 cities and unincorporated communities. So as you can imagine, each one has its own set of zoning rules, regulations when it comes to rentals. So of course you're probably thinking, well, this is a beach area. Why wouldn't short-term rentals be allowed? And that's a good question, right? Well, obviously only part of the county is a beach area, but even the beach areas have lots of people who live there year-round, and they don't necessarily want renters in and out all the time. So I was originally thinking about putting in the regulations for each area into this video, but it's just too much. 17 different cities, and it's just too much. But just the fact that the regulations can even change, and they do change as well, that makes me hesitate also. So now one thing to note here is that zoning rules, regulations, ordinances are what allows a property to be used in a certain manner. The city is in charge of setting those ordinances. So in general, over on the mainland of Brevard County, the regulations are more relaxed when it comes to short-term rentals. On the beach side, however, it is much stricter. So I'd rather concentrate on those areas, as most people want a rental close to the beach anyway. As of the shooting of this video, some areas such as Cape Canaveral do not allow short-term daily rentals at all. The shortest you can rent out is 7 days, and even that is highly regulated with a registration system. Other areas like Merritt Island, for example, the minimum stay is 30 days. But the exception here is that if the property is zoned RM3, east of A1A, right? It has to be east of A1A, so basically right on the beach, and a state or local license is obtained by the property owner, then a property just might be able to be used as an Airbnb. Melbourne Beach also has a 30-day minimum stay, but they have some ordinances that really must be followed that other places probably don't have, such as a property absolutely must have lights with a battery backup that would last for an hour. Now, do they test this? I have no idea, but it's one of the ordinances that you have to agree to if you're in Melbourne Beach and do a rental. So they feel that it's just a safety feature for renters, right? So it's not a bad thing, but that's just one example of some of the different types of regulations that are out there. And hopefully this emphasizes even more the importance of checking with each area before just up and making your home an Airbnb. In India Atlantic, which is another beachside area, cannot have short-term rentals that are less than 90 days. And there's a specific T-zone for tourists, only where those are even possible. Finally, in our area, like I said, we have a lot of unincorporated parts of the county, even in cities like Merritt Island, for instance, and those unincorporated areas have their own zoning rules and regulations, which is part of Brevard County government. Whew, okay, so I found a property that is zoned and allowed to be short-term rental. Woohoo, I'm in the clear, right? Oh, I wish that was right, but no, sorry. I don't mean to rain on your parade, but that's actually not necessarily the case. On top of all those city regulations, you must know if the property is in a homeowners association or a condo association, you have to find out whether or not the association itself allows those short-term rentals. So even if the city that you're in allows them, if the association says, you still can't have an Airbnb or short-term rental of any kind. So just because the city may say yes, the association may say no. And you have to sign those documents when you purchase a property that says you're gonna abide by their rules. Now you could always appeal to the association to see if they'd allow it, but you just have to keep in mind to check with them before purchasing a property or using a property as an Airbnb or short-term rental. And one other thing that you really do have to keep in mind is that just because an association or a city, allows it now, doesn't mean they won't change their mind later on. Remember, make the wise choice when it comes to Melbourne, Florida real estate. I hope that helps someone today. We'll see you next video.